Hello and welcome to Absent Mind Dyslexia Stories, Episode 2. I'm your host, Rachel, and in today's episode we will be covering the topic of growing up with dyslexia. Once again, I do have my script in my hand, so if you're wondering why I keep looking down quite oftenly, it's because I'm looking at this to pick up points of where I should go to next. So, without further delay, we will go into the first point, which will be feelings before dyslexia test. And I've written down, I felt unintelligent, angry, and which I previously said in my last video that I felt, I said that I had difficulties to gain new information, which what the teachers were telling me during class times in primary school and during secondary school. So, like I said in the last episode, I just skimmed through everything, just picking up bits and bobs of information, just gradually, but nothing was sinking in. So, yeah, I did feel really annoyed with myself back in the day before I took the test on why I wasn't getting any new information into my head. I was wondering what was the matter with me. I thought I could do this. I had the power to do this, but my brain wouldn't comprehend with my power to work, and it just wouldn't work with me. So most of the time I was getting really frustrated, and yeah, all the time just got angry. Yeah, just mainly I was just angry and annoyed with myself and really confused why I was so different to everybody else. Again, I've already skimmed the surface of feeling dumb and stupid beforehand. I should lightly skim the surface of it right now. With all new subjects, it was tough to pick up my phone just in case I forget what I'm saying. With all new subjects, it was a difficult challenge to learn and get everything stuck into my head. And you mainly focus on with short-term memory to pick up things within a few seconds, and after a while it'll get sent to your long-term memory. Don't know why I'm poking at the back of my head, so that's where apparently your memory goes to, I think. I don't know. It's random. As I said, dyslexics do have really bad short-term memories. That's what I've heard. I have bad short-term memory. Again, I can't remember most phone numbers, or I can't remember a note from off the phone off the top of my head. I cannot remember that for the rest of the day. I need to write it down. Yeah, ignoring creative subjects like media, art and design and all that, projects such as maths, and again with the written language sector, which is mainly the area that I most find difficult. I always find it a bit of a pain to do a subject that I'm not really good at, and you know that you always mess up when you're trying to do something, and I kind of experienced that throughout my life, and these days I still get tongue-tied. I still have a fear of failure. Every time I fail, I just feel really, really horrible, and technically I feel like I hate myself when I do fail. I do try my best to get the grade that I want, or yeah. The only way I can imagine how not to fail is to redo a certain project again and just listen to the notes what tutors, professors or teachers gave me at the time. Also, I'm just skimming the surface right now and adding one-day pointers. Yeah, difficulties at learning new and simple tasks like tying shoelaces. Yeah, in my introductional video where I talked about difficulties in learning new things. Yeah, once again, I've got to skim the surface of this because these are just points that I've written down beforehand, so I know what to talk about. Yeah, I just couldn't. I didn't know how to tie my shoelaces. No matter how much I tried to tie my shoelaces, I couldn't. Looking back now, I have no idea why I couldn't do it. It just seems like the most simplest of tasks to do. Which was also a pain that family members did get frustrated with me, and they were wondering why I couldn't do a simple knot on my shoes. I assume they think I was just being stubborn, which honestly I wasn't. I was trying my damnedest to tie my shoelaces. So it took I imagine it took like several years to tie my shoelaces. Yeah, I can tie my shoelaces now, but not them perfectly. But back then it was such the hardest task to do. How I can compare it to now is if you watch my last video, I was talking about the struggles of doing my driving theory. Yeah, looking back on that now, comparing it when I was that age of tying my shoelaces and doing my theory now, it's kind of that same sort of struggle. It sounds really weird putting it together, but in my head, thinking about it and looking back, it's still the same stress and struggle as it was. And hopefully I won't say struggle too much in this episode like I did the last one. Okay. Next topic. My feelings after the feelings after the dyslexia test. Yeah, I felt really relieved and awesome after it. I finally found out the answer of why I found all these things stressful and why I couldn't learn anything. There was a reason. And yeah, I felt really, really happy about it. And I found out that I wasn't stupid. I just needed a different way to be educated, and a different way to have things explained to me. Yeah, and I wrote here, a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, there is always light at the end of the tunnel with things. No matter what you do, no matter what things and blah 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 you do, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. Some may take longer than others, like my dyslexia test, and some may be shorter. Some people may get their test earlier, some may get found out that they have it, and some, like me, waited all their school career to finally get an answer. Again, this does lead into a point where I say, though a little annoyed that it was a bit too late, yes. Still to this day I am generally really annoyed that it took till 2009, I'm gonna say, I think that was my first year at college. Yeah, because I left in 2011. So yeah, it was until 2009 the college actually discovered that I was a little different. Which, again, in the last episode I did talk about it. And go by in life saying, oh, it wasn't my fault that I couldn't comprehend all these simple tasks. I was just born this way. I just needed extra guidance and extra time to learn. Like, tying my shoes, for example. I needed more time to do that. But obviously when I got into college I knew how to tie my shoes. Obviously. It's a bit of a longer gap. Honestly, it was amazing that my tutors at college did pick up on some of my spellings. Sometimes they spell it out in mid-air, or get a piece of paper, write it down and then give it to me. It's just pick it out, write it down and then drop it in front of me, like there was just this random letter flying through the air. They didn't say anything, it was just like a simple little thing just to carry on. I love my tutors at college, they're funny. And now my final point that I want to talk about in this episode is focuses on... didn't pronounce that correctly, did I? Focuses on what skills I am good at rather than things that I aren't. Yes, now that I was in college, I can focus on what I wanted to do, which was media. Personally, if you do the skills that you want to do, you'll get far more better in life, because if you don't like doing something, you're not going to do well in it, and it's going to be pretty much pointless. Which is something I would like to talk about for schools. You do all these several lessons, which most of the students don't really want to do. Probably a few want to do, let's say, English, maths or science. I never wanted to do that. Fair point to do English, maths and science during the early years, so you can get an idea of what you need to do. And yeah, obviously English, you need to learn punctuation and the bare basics of how to write a letter, how to write basically. Yeah, I know how to write. I know how to punctuate sometimes. Sometimes I need to think about it, and if I don't think about it, then it's all over the place. Spelling, yes, that's still a bit of a muddle up for me. I need to think about that occasionally. Sometimes when I'm on my computer, I tend to go into Google and type in how I think the spelling is spelt, then I wait for Google to spell it for me. Again, as an example, if I wasn't too sure how to spell favourite, I would spell it as F-A-V-O-U-R-I-T-E. Yeah, I struggled then. And Google was to give it to me without the U, then I would need to think about it. Because here, it's spelt as O-U-R, not O-R. Because, U's are cool. Honestly, in schools, teachers should be divided into a section of groups where they have their profession of teaching a certain subject, and they can, well, students can pick which subject they want to learn within a certain amount of hours. So if one group of kids want to learn and do art, they can go with a teacher that teaches art. And if a group of students want to do maths, they'll go with a teacher who does maths. I mean, it can't be really all that difficult, can it? I think it's a good idea. I think kids will benefit with it more and get by in life with it. If you want to send a letter after a job centre or something, then it needs to be correctly punctuated and spelt. But nowadays, now we have like spell checkers and everything, people can use that. But it's not always correct all the time, as I've noticed. So it's always good to learn it beforehand as well. During my first year at college, I did redo my English exam, GCSE. I did like my teacher. She did explain it in a different way, but during the exam I didn't get anywhere at all. I still got an E. So after that I thought, well, what's the point doing English, Maths and Science again? So if I'm still going to get the grade again, then what's the point? And yeah, if I got into college and got 2 diplomas based around media, then really, what is the point? What is the point in doing them? The English, Maths and Science again. I need to clarify that. Now that I'm at uni, I'm getting a diploma. So, what is the point? What is the point at all? Yeah, again, fair play, you need English, Maths and Science to get into college. Colleges may be tougher than others, but again, I needed an E to get into college. That was the main focus of the entry requirements. Crazy, I know. I don't think that I got special treatment. That's why they give me special treatment. I'm just like anybody else that's calling to apply for the place. So that was my story for whatever I just talked about. Yes, the skills points. So yeah, that was episode 2. It may have been shorter than last episode, but once again I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in episode 3 in Absent Minds Dyslexia Stories. Thank you and goodbye.